Alright, so today we're going to start a project for our natural swimming pool, which I've been working on for the past year. So the green algae in the pool is always a problem, and since we're not putting, because we're doing a natural swimming pool, we're not putting the chlorine in it, it's hard to control that, and we're not putting any algaecide in there either, right? So thought about this, ordered this on eBay, this thing called a UV sanitizer. Okay, UV sanitizer comes with all these things, and it's only like about $15 with the shipping included. Okay, so usually a UV sanitizer for your swimming pool, the sand filter, is going to be at least $300 up to $500, $600. Okay, so this one is like $15. So I don't know if it's going to work. It's just experiment. This is a cheap alternative to actually installing a real UV sanitizer for your pool sand filter. The idea is basically, for the pool model, is you have a dark chamber, a cylindrical kind of a chamber installed in front of the sand filter. So when the water gets pumped, before it gets pumped into the sand filter, goes through this chamber. In the chamber there's such a UV light, a bulb in the middle. So the water basically, the chamber is built around this, right? So basically the water is flowing through the chamber and around this UV light bulb. So the UV supposedly will kill all the germs and algae when it's flowing, or the water is flowing through this chamber. So that basically get rid of all the things that you want to kill with the algaecide or the chlorine. So it's a good alternative. But the problem with that is you have to actually physically install a chamber and change the piping. The chamber is basically here before it goes to the sand filter. You have to change all the pipes to divert the water flow through this chamber, right? And it's kind of a big project. So I'm thinking, instead of doing that, I'm gonna buy something like this and put this at the water intake, the pool skimmer. Put this in the skimmer. The water will still flow through it, but you don't have a chamber. But just put it in the skimmer, and let's see how it works. This thing, basically, if you want to search it for it online or buy it online, this is designed for aquarium. Okay, this is called a submersible UV light. Okay, the idea is basically the same, right? You pump for your aquarium pumps or filter, right? You pump water out, and you put this in the separate dark chamber. But don't put it in the aquarium tank directly, because the UV light is going to kill all the fish and whatever is in there. Okay, so pump the aquarium water, the tank water, into dark chamber. Put this in there, sanitize it, and then pump the water back. So you're going to look for a voltage, the power rating as big as possible, right? This is what I found. I think it's like 15 watts, and yeah, the 15 watts. They have all the different kind of versions, right? The 6 watts, 10 watts, 15 watts. Now for pool kind of a sanitizer, it's at least 30 something, or maybe 50 something. Okay, so at least 36, I think, because of course the more powerful the light bulb is, the faster it's going to kill the germs. So the real voltage, the voltage you need is dependent on the water flow rate. Basically, you have to check your sand filter's flow rate, how many gallons per hour, right? So the faster it flows, the more powerful this needs to be, because it needs more time. I mean, if it's faster, it has less time of going through the chamber. It flows through too fast. Then you have to sanitize it in just such a short time. If it's slower, then you can have less wattage. So we're gonna have to check to see if this is gonna work, because it's only 15. It's like less than half of the wattage needed. But since we put in the skimmer, and the skimmer water is gonna flow in a whirlpool, so maybe kind of it slows down, right? So it could work, but this is very experimental. Okay. So here's this construction of this thing. The power, obviously, power button, and here is the waterproof connection. So you can actually disconnect it from here and screw it down to waterproof. Okay, that's a pretty good idea. And the wire goes to this UV lamp, and that's it. These two are just basically supposedly clip on, so they can attach to the dark chamber, whatever, the wall of the chamber. So for the pool thing, we probably don't need this anyway. Okay, so you can take a look at the pool, where we put it, and we're going to start experimenting. So this is the pool water. As you can see, it's turning very, very green now. During the winter, it's actually pretty good. Now, super green. Okay. So here is the pool skimmer. So basically, if I open that, you can see the skimmer basket. So what we're gonna do is put the lamp in there and take out the skimmer basket, or drill a hole on the skimmer basket and put the lamp through there. But I probably would just take the skimmer basket out, because then I can put something from the intake here. It's going to cover the intake with some kind of a basket as an alternative. Okay, so this one we can just use, put the whole lamp in there, and I'll show you how I do it once we have this pool cleaned up a bit in the bottom. Take out all the leaves and make it slightly better, then we'll start the pump. Alright, I think we're ready to do this now, and as you can see, it's May. The water is still green, okay? But we have turned on the pump, so the pump is on, and as you can see, there's a whirlpool in the intake before the skimmer basket. So hopefully this will provide a slower water flow for this UV light to work. So what we did here, I put a basket, one is this regular plastic basket you can find for any food storage. I put it on the covering the skimmer intake here. So the purpose of this is to replace this basket here inside. Okay, because we're gonna remove this basket to put the light inside. Okay, so let's see if I do it here. So basically, I'm going to remove the basket. Okay. So besides the other basket we put covering the intake, There's also another basket at the other skimmer, because there's a skimmer right before the sand filter. Okay, so dual purpose. So here's our UV light. We're gonna just push it in there. As you can see, fits perfectly inside. Okay, now this end, the cord actually is like this, right? So you can actually take it apart. This is the waterproof seal. So take it apart and thread this through the cover hole. Hopefully that'll fit. Yeah, that'll fit. So thread through here. Normally you have a hole for the cover. For whatever reason I cannot fathom, but it fits our purpose perfectly. But if you don't worry. You can just put it any other way. Okay. So that's inside. So we're gonna fit this one. Just match the arrow here with the arrow here, and just connect. Then screw on the waterproof seal cap. So this is perfectly waterproof on this connector. Okay, now the on and off buttons here, and we're gonna connect this to our extension cord. Let me show you. I'm gonna connect this to our extension cord we got from the power supply of the pool house. So we can do it this way, I guess. Connect. Okay, and let's check if there's power inside here. If we turn it on this, you can notice the difference. There is a light going on there. Okay. Let me see if I turn it off. Do you see the difference? Oh, I think you can see the difference. If I turn it off, it's like this. Turn it on, the UV light is going on here. Okay, and you can see the water perfectly covers the entire lamp. And I'm gonna wait and see if it works. And meanwhile, let's do some waterproofing for the cord, because we don't want the rain to ruin the electric cord. Alright, so for the waterproofing, I'm going to do a very cheap way, which is plastic bag. Okay? Use any plastic bag that's not leaking first, there's no holes in it. Basically just use it to cover this whole thing. And on either side, we're going to use a tape to secure it. That's it. Of course, this is gonna look very cheap and it doesn't last long, because the sun will break down the bag pretty soon. But for our purpose, it should work. Okay. So this is a very cheap way. There we go. And just cut it. And that secures our on-off button. For any other connections, like the extension cord, we'll do the same thing. And all we have to do is wait and see if this works. Hey, let's update you on this UV light we're using. So this is about a week after we put this UV light through the hole in the skimmer. Let me show you. Open it. see the light is still on. It's kind of greenish light, and the water is, there's a whirlpool in there, slowly draining into the skimmer. And you see the big tree root I purposefully didn't remove. It was getting in through the concrete. It was a white fat root, but now it's kind of a withered and because exposed to the UV radiation, it probably will eventually die. So I just left there to show the effect of this UV light. Okay, so this is basically the setup, and let's check the result. You can now see the bottom of the pool. This is the bottom. This is the drainage at the bottom. And I can now see the fish. As you can see, this is crystal clear water. There's still some debris on the bottom. I mean, this is still the algae, but the algae that's suspended in the water, making the green water issue, is now gone. So all we have here is at the bottom and on the wall, the liner walls. So we're just gonna keep vacuuming up the bottom. Use the waste cycle. Do not go take this through your sand. Just do a waste. Throw them out. So do it once a week, regularly vacuum out the bottom. Then you should be fine. And I'm going to do one more update, just in case somebody is questioning, okay, if I vacuum out the bottom, shouldn't that just clear the water without this UV light, right? Is this UV light really effective? So we're going to wait until really hot summer day and see if the UV light really is helping. But for now, it looks like it is. So we got crystal clear water here. And we'll wait and see. Alright guys, last update, I promise. So now it is July, okay? After very hot and sunny days, I'm not going to show you the final result of our experiment, and also how to buy it if you want to have the same thing. Okay, so let's take a look again at the skimmer. I'll put this UV lamp inside. As you can see, skimmer is working, but last night it was really windy, so there's a lot of surface leaves and dust, but it's going to clear up once it's got into the filter. So you see the tree roots I showed you before, right? So now it's completely died. So it's further proof that the UV light does kill organic matters. Okay, takes some time for the tree root, but for the green water algae in the water, suspended in the water, it kills them instantly. So the light is still working after about a month of being turned on 24/7, and it's working. Okay, so that's the setup, and end result of the pool, you can see right into the bottom of this pool. So what I did was I keep brushing the sides and bottom of the pool to get the algae out of the pool liner and walls. So then each time you do that, the water will get really dirty. Then just let the filter and the UV lamp do the trick, and once it's water is cleared up, there will be a lot of deposits on the bottom. Okay, something like this. Basically the debris, the dead body or the body of the algae. Then you just vacuum it out with the waste cycle of this filter, so that it doesn't go through your sand and dirty the sand. It just gets dumped out. Then after that, you brush again, and then repeat. Basically, you brush, let the filter work, then you vacuum out the bottom, then you brush again. So after a few times, this will be the end result. Nothing on the bottom, nothing on the liners. The water here is crystal clear. You can clearly see the fish I have. Okay, so now let's talk about the how to buy this setup. So like I said, I purchased this on eBay for about $15, actually $14.50. But today, if you purchase the same thing, I think the price has just increased to about $17.50, but still insanely good price compared to if you buy the real UV sanitizer for a pound or for a pool. It's hundreds of dollars, plus you have to alter the plumbing. And with this one, it's just temporary, right? If you don't want it, you can just simply take it out of the skimmer. That's it. Reversible. Okay. And if you check eBay recently, they have come out with new products. This is the 15 watts UV sanitizer lamp. Okay. They have now come up with 20, 30, 40, even 60 watts UV lamps. They're called double barrels. They're, if you check the specs, the girth is much larger. It's because the two lamps positioned parallel to each other, so they are really thick. So I think if you put in a pool skimmer, only the 20 watts double barrel lamp will fit in there. It's about like 30 something centimeters length, but the higher ones won't fit in the skimmer. So depending on your setup, right? If you're doing the pool skimmer same as I do, then yeah, 15 watts, 20 watts double barrel will fit in the skimmer. But if you're doing a pound, then it doesn't matter. You can put any size you want, as long as it's put in somewhere the radiation doesn't reach the fish, right? For example, if you pump out the water from the pool, the pond, and the return water goes to a fountain or a waterfall, you just put the lamp in the fountain or waterfall, so that it has a chance of cleaning the water without radiating the fish. Okay, so that's basically how you do it. And like I said, this experiment worked really well, and you have a full chemical-free swimming pool or pond without any chlorine, and the green water algae is completely gone. Okay, there will still be algae on the liner, on the wall where you don't brush, because it is living water. It's not dead water full of chemicals, of course. But your water will be clear. Okay. And thanks for watching. And let me know if you have any questions, or have you tried the double barrel sanitizer, and let me know how it works for you.